Hello, it's Gem Games here once again, and in this video we're going to create this nice and realistic turn-in-place system, because now when we rotate you can see our body is rotating with us and it is not looking very realistic. So yeah, let's get started. First you want to go to the link in the description that takes you to my Google Drive, and you want to download this turn-in-place folder. Okay? After that, you want to go to the animations under the blueprints and you want to import the whole folder there. And we want to select the SK mannequin, which is the UV5 mannequin, and import all. Now let's open the turn in place left animation sequence and let's go to the frame 13.5 and let's right click and let's add a notify, skeleton notify L foot plant, because here you can see the left foot hits the ground. Actually, I think it hits a little bit later, but I think here it starts to turn. So this is pretty good. You can adjust it a little bit if you want, but this is good for me. Now let's go to the frame. I will have to check it to the last frame, I think. Yeah, let's go to the last frame. Let's right click and notify, skeleton notify, and R foot plant. And let's move it to the end. Okay. Now what we want to do here is we have to add a new animation curve. So let's go to the curves, add curve, and let's create curve. And let's call the first curve, let's call it distance curve or something like that. Okay, let's double click to open it. And here what we want to do, we want to add a key to the 0 frame. So let's add a key here, and you want to set this to 0 and 0. Okay, now let's add a key to the end, add key, and let's change this to, sorry, that was not the end. The end is, let's actually move it there. Yeah, 0.9666667. And let's set the value 1. Okay, let's scroll backwards so we can see the whole thing. Now let's right click on this and let's make it auto. And also from here, and let's make it auto. So now we get this nice and smooth curve. Okay, we will need this. Now let's go back to the turn in place left. Let's right click, sorry, not right click, click on the curve and let's add a, actually, sorry, from here, let's add another curve, create curve. Let's call this turning. Okay, what this will do is this will just be set to a certain value, so we can check from our blueprint if the animation is basically playing. So let's double click on this and let's click on turning. Let's add a key. You can just add a key anywhere, it doesn't matter. And let's set the value to 1. And we can also set this to 0. It doesn't actually matter because the whole thing will be at this value because we only have one key here. Okay? Now let's go back to the animation. Now let's actually save all. And let's go to the turn in place right. And what we want to do here is we want to go to the frame I think 14.5. Let's right click, notify, skeleton notify, and R foot plant. Now let's go to the last frame. Let's add a notify, skeleton notify, and L foot plant, and let's move it there. Okay. Let's add a curve, and now we want to select our distance curve. Okay, let's open it. Let's scroll backwards. Let's add a key. Let's put it to 0 and 0. And we can also now make it auto. Let's add a key here. Let's make it 1. And also let's check that it's here at the end. You can see at the red line. Now it's already smoothed. I don't know why. Okay, but yeah, if it's not, you want to set both of them to auto, then it will be like this. Okay, let's go back and let's add another curve. Let's search for a turning. Let's open it and let's open only the turning and let's add a key. Let's make the value 1. Let's just set this to 0, just for, I don't know, we don't have any reason for that, but yeah, I just like it to be here or here, but it actually doesn't matter. So now we have all these things done here. So let's save all and we can close this turning place, right? So what we want to do next, we want to go to animations and we want to open the app player. And here we want to close everything else than the event graph. And now we want to create a new function. Okay, why did it close? Let's call it character rotation. Okay, and let's go back to the event graph. Let's get the character rotation under here. And let's get it from the 10 to. And I think it's pretty nicely aligned with this. Okay, so it's there. Now compile and save and let's go to the character rotation. And here what we want to do, we want to first add a sequence on S and left click. Then what we want to do, we have to actually create a variable called control yeah. Okay, let's call it, let's create it, control yeah, and let's change it to be float. Okay, now let's get the control yeah here, and let's also promote it to a variable from 10 0. So we will get the old yeah and promote it to a variable which will be called actually, yeah, which will be called previous yeah, like that. And after that, what we want to do is we want to get our player reference under here, and we want to get control rotation. Okay, let's split it and let's align this. Now, what we want to do is we want to get our control yaw and set it here, and we want to set it to this yaw value. So we are basically getting the old control yaw and promoting it to previous yaw variable, and then we are getting the new and promoting it to this new. Okay. After that, what we want to do, we want to get the previous yaw, and we want to minus from it. We want to minus the control yaw from it. And we want to promote that to a variable and get from here. And this variable will be called difference yaw. Okay, so now we have the yaw difference from those two. What we want to do next is we want to get our velocity, and we want to get the length xy, and we want to check if that's greater than 1. Sorry, let's leave it here. Then we want to add a or boolean, and let's actually make it our favorite. And then we want to also get our falling. So like this. And then let's add a branch, B and left click, and let's get from here. So we are checking if we are going faster than 1 or we are falling. then what we want to do, if we are not, so from the false, we want to right click and create a clamp float, and then we want to promote this to a variable like this. And this variable we will call final offset, yeah, or final difference, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, and what we want to do here now is we want to get the difference, yeah, and we want to add to it, and we want to add the final offset, yeah, to it, and then we want to normalize axis like this, and let's actually move this further like this and connect this to the value. Okay, so we will get these values, we will add them together, and we will normalize it between minus 180 and 180. Okay, now we want to create another variable, and this will be called max yaw difference. Okay, and this will be the value which when our control yaw is, or the final offset yaw is bigger or less than this, or like bigger on positive and less on negative numbers, then our player will rotate. Okay, so let's compile so we can access this default value, and let's make it 70. You can adjust it later. We will make this so that you can just change this value and everything else will work with it. So yeah, now let's get the max yaw difference. Let's get it under here, and we want to multiply it here, and also connect this straight to the max. And let's add a reroute here. This multiplied, we want to connect to the minimum, and we want to just multiply it by -1, so it's negative number. Okay, so less than this as negative, or more than this as normal. Okay, and after that, what we want to do is we want to right click and get curve value, and now we want to get the turning curve that we added on the animations. So turning, and we want to check if this is equal to 1, because we made it 1 when the animation is playing. Now let's add a branch, connect it here. So if our curve, turning curve value is 1, then what we want to do is we want to get our final offset yaw, and we want to set it here and connect. And let's leave even more space, like, yeah, like this maybe. And now what we want to do, we want to lerp from this. And then we want to promote this a to a variable, and this will be called turn start yaw. Okay, and we don't have to set it to anything yet. And b will be 0, and the alpha will be, we want to get curve value. Now we want to get the curve, which will be the distance curve. And you want to check that everything is written exactly like on the animations. So let's actually, so distance curve. You can also just press F2 and copy it like this, and then just paste it. But yeah, you want to check that it's exactly like that. So now when the animation will play, the alpha will slowly, or not slowly, but with the animation go from 0 to 1. Okay, and the final offset yaw will be 0, because we don't want any offset when the animation has played. Okay, now let's compile, let's save, and now let's go under here. Now we want to set the turn start yaw under here, So when our animation is not playing, we want to always set it. So we have the exact value. So let's get the final offset, yeah. And set it to turn start, yeah, from here. Now, let's actually copy all this and paste it under here. And connect to here. Like this. Let's actually move this. No. Let's not move it. Sorry. So here, what we want to do, the only thing we want to change from this turn start, yeah, we want to delete that. And we want to set the final offset, yeah, there. Oh, not like that. Connect to the A. So it is exactly like this, but it will use the final offset, yeah, and also it will always set this to the turn start, yeah. Okay. Compile and save. Now, what we want to do, we want to go here to the start, and we want to right click and try get pawn owner, and we want to add actor world rotation. Okay, and let's connect from 10, 1, and it can be around here, I think. Now let's split this rotation. Let's get our final offset, yeah, set. Now what we want to do here is, why is this here? If somebody knows why sometimes this happens that you get all these texts here when you're like hovering over things, can you please tell me in the comments, because I don't know how to fix that. And this has been like here for a while. It happens sometimes. I don't know why is this. Why I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, why it is like this, I don't know. But yeah, tell me in the comments if you know. So now that we have added the final offset yaw to our actor, now what we want to do is we want to get the final offset yaw again. And we want to multiply it. And we want to multiply it by -1, so we will make it negative, and then we want to promote it to a variable. This variable will be called spine. Oh, not a spine like this. And yeah. Okay, we will add this value to our spine. Compile and save. Now we can already try this system soon. So let's go first to the anim graph. And here, let's zoom here where we add this rotation value to our spine bones. Okay, so this top one. What we want to do here, we want to just get the spine yaw under here and connect it to the yaw, like that. That's the reason why we made this that way on the episode. On the last episode. I don't know if it was the last episode, but on the older episodes. So yeah, now when we compile and save, we can actually try that if the spinning is working. We don't have animations yet, but you can see it is not working. Oh, it's because it's using the distance curve. But you can see, yeah, we have this 70 degrees to the both directions offset range, basically. Okay, after that, it starts to rotate. So let's add the animations and make it work like it's supposed to work. So let's go back to the APP player. And let's go to our main states. No, not here. Let's go to the locomotion and to the idle. Okay, now we have this idle sequence here. We can just delete that. We can right click and create a new state machine, because we will later on add a lot of more things here. Let's call this idle states or something like that. Let's open it. And here on the entry, what we want to do, we want to add a state, and this will be called idle. And let's open it. Here we can get our idle animation and connect it to here. We can make it loop if we want, but our animation doesn't do anything, so Actually, we don't have to make it, but yeah, it doesn't matter. So compile and save, and let's go back to the idle states. And here on the idle states, we want to add those turn in place states. So let's get up, let's add state, and let's get back from it like this. Also down state, and let's get back from it like that. Now let's rename this upper state to turn in place right, and let's align it better, because you know I like to align everything. Maybe even one here. No, it's there. Okay, and this one, turn in place left. And let's also align it with the top one. Now, what we have to do here, we want to open this idle to turn in place right condition. And here, we want to get our final offset yeah. And we want to check if it's less or equal. And then we want to get our max yeah difference value. Let's actually get this also to here. And we want to multiply it by -1. Okay, and connect it there. So if our final offset yeah is less or equal to max yeah difference, multiplied by -1. Then also end boolean. Let's connect here. Our let's get the velocity. Let's get length xy. And let's check if it's equal to 0, like this. Let's align it better with the other things. Maybe like this, and connect to the end. Let's select these and press Q to align. And now, this is actually not aligned, now it is. But so, yeah, we want to check that, you know, this value is less than this as negative. And then we want to check that we are not moving. Okay. Compile and save. Let's actually copy all this. Let's go back to the idle states. Now let's go to the turn in place left. So idle to turn in place left rule. Let's paste the same thing. And let's connect it here. Let's select this and press Q to align. And now we want to check that it's final offset yeah, if it's greater or equal than this multiplied by 1. Actually, we can just connect this to here, but I don't know. Yeah, let's delete this and connect it straight to there, like that. Okay. Compile. Save. Now let's go back to the idle states. And let's open the turn in place right. Here what we want to do, we want to get our turn in place right animation connected there. And we don't want to make it loop. So looping animation, not true, or I mean false. And play rate, let's make it a little bit faster. Let's make it 1.5. You can play with this later and everything it will work exactly the same with all the speeds. But yeah, let's make it like this. Compile, save. Let's go back to the idle states. And let's go to the turn in place right to idle. Okay. Here we want to get curve value. And the curve will be the distance curve. And we want to check that it's equal, not equal, like this, equal to 1. So when the animation has played completely. And also let's add a or boolean, and let's like this. Let's connect this here, and or the velocity length xy. Actually, we should have promoted this to a ground speed variable on the event graph. It would be so much easier. But let's create a or make a like cleaning up, fixing episode where we do all those things. So let's get this to here, and let's check that if that's not equal. So if the speed is not equal to 0, so we are moving. Those are the rules. So if our animation has played and or we are not moving. So we are we are moving. We are not like stationary. So yeah, compile, save, and let's now copy all this. Let's go back to the idle states. Let's go to turning place left to idle condition. Let's paste it. This will be exactly the same. We don't have to change anything other than align this and also align this and compile and save. And let's go back. And turning place left. Let's open it and let's get the turning place left animation. Connect here. Loop false, play rate 1.5. Compile and save. And also we could do one thing here. So let's bind this play rate as pin, expose as pin, and let's promote this to a variable. So later on, if you want to adjust this, you just can adjust this one variable. So like this, and this will be turn in place anim play rate. Little bit long name, but it doesn't matter. Now let's compile and save, and let's go back to the idle state, and let's actually add that to the turning place right also. Like this. Here, play rate, bind, expose as pin, and turning place anim play rate, and connect there. Now, like this, and compile and save, and it should be 1.5 because we promoted it from the sequence layer. But yeah, let's set it to 1.5. Now, one more thing here. I think this will work the best if we change all these condition durations to 0.1. 0.1 and Hermite cubic like this, and 0.1 and also 0.1 and also 0.1 here. Okay, compile and save all. Now I actually think that we could try the system. It's not complete yet, but let's see. So now when we check down and when we rotate, you can see, but after that it will glitch. Why is that? To the left, I think it works, but to the right, it will stop working after the one time. So let's check that. So for some reason, it doesn't come back, or like this distance curve will hit 1, but it will not get back from the state. I will show you. So when I turn right, you can see I have this 0.0 here. If I go left, it will go 1 and back to 0. And right, it will stay to the 1. And I don't know why is that happening, because there is no reason for that. At least I don't think so. Because distance curve is equal to 1, or it should work. Why is this? So let's try again. Let's get the distance curve again. Get curve value. And this will be this distance curve. If it's equal to 1, it will go back. Compile, save, and let's see. It is not working. Why is that? Okay, I don't know why this is happening, if this is some bug on the engine, but let's try one more thing. Let's check if this is greater or equal to 1. It's basically the same thing, but let's see. Yeah, now it works. That was some kind of bug with the Unreal Engine, because as you can see, now when it's greater or equal, which is basically the same thing, because it cannot get bigger than 1, it will work. So I don't think that will happen to you, but if it will, you can try it with this, because it will only go to 1, it will not go to the greater value. So this is basically equal also, so this doesn't matter. I don't know. I think that was a bug with Unreal Engine. So compile and save. And now that those things are working here, you can see it is looking pretty nice. One thing that we have here now is when we move, you can see our body is not rotating correctly. So let's create the code for that. That's a simple one. So let's go to the APP player and to the character rotation. We can actually close these other things. Here on the character rotation, here where we check if our velocity at the ground speed basically is greater than 1 or we are falling. So let's actually move this a little bit further down so we can get space here. So from the true, we want to first check that the final offset yaw is not equal to 0. And let's add a branch. Let's align it with that one here, like that. So when our final offset yaw is not equal to 0, so when it's different value, then what we want to do is we want to get our final offset yaw again, and we want to this time set it here, I think, yes. Now we want to f-interp to like this. Current value will be the final offset yaw, of course. And target will be 0, of course, and delta time will be just get world, cannot write, get world delta seconds, like this, and interrupt speed will be 10. So compile and save, and let's actually move this even further down, like that maybe. Yeah, so now when we are jumping or we are moving, we check that our rotation is not different with our body. If it is, we want to start interping to the same value by the speed of 10. But you can adjust it, but don't make it a lot smaller because otherwise it will not look that good. But you can try with different values, of course. Compile, save, and play. So now when this stops lagging like this, you can see when we are moving, when we are rotating and we start move, it will rotate. If we are like this and jump, it will rotate back to here. And you can see the animations are working pretty nicely. And also now you can play with the values, like for example, with the turn in place start yaw, max yaw difference. If we set this to like 45 and we play, it will be like this. You can see 45 degrees, it will turn. And also we can set it to like 90. Don't set it bigger than 90 because otherwise it will not look that good. But now you can be like this and it will rotate. Okay, I will set it back to 70. I think that's pretty good. That's the sweet spot, at least for me. Compile and save. And also now you can play with the turn in place and in play rate. You can try with 2 if you want. So now it will turn a little bit faster. Somebody might like this. But yeah, I like 1.5. And also, compile and save. Let's do one more thing here. Let's actually put this all on a group. So control yaw. Let's add a category. Let's call it what it will be called. It will be called, yeah, let's just call it turn in place. And now let's get the previous yaw and let's put it to the turn in place. Difference yaw and to the turn in place. Final offset yaw, turn in place. Max yaw difference and turn in place. Turn start yaw and turn in place. Spine yaw and turn in place and turn in place. And play rate and put it to turn in place. So now we have all the variables there. So yeah, compile and save, and I will just try one more time that everything works. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty nice and it's working super nicely. So yeah, I actually think that was all for this video. If you like what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you on the next one. Bye.